Hey, Neil Rice here with Startup University. I'm a business attorney. I've helped many hundreds of new business owners avoid costly mistakes and start out with confidence. Hey, in this video, I'm going to keep working through this absolutely insane court case down in Texas. If you've seen the first two videos on this, you know the background. I'll give you the short version in just a minute. But we're going through this court case and we're pulling out 7 different concepts from this one court case that I really want you to know as a new business owner or a future business owner as you get ready to start your business. Here's the background once again, the quick version. Go back to the original video and see the full version. There's this company down in Texas called Holt Cat. They're a Caterpillar dealer, Caterpillar construction equipment, bulldozers, trucks, and so forth. They hired a guy named John Gross. He actually was promoted, good for John, to the position of manager of the tools and equipment division. He was in charge of buying tools and equipment that they could keep on hand in order to sell to customers who needed those tools and equipment who bought Caterpillar products. What happened was apparently, allegedly, according to the lawsuit, John or John's wife, Jacqueline, started this company called Mercury Manufacturing, LLC. Mercury Manufacturing, LLC was sending invoices to the tools and equipment manager, John Gross, for supposedly tools and equipment Holt Cat was buying from this company. Turns out that there were no tools and equipment going to Holt Cat, but there was a whole lot of money coming to Mercury Manufacturing to the tune of $2.6 million. No one's exactly sure where that $2.6 million is today. It seems as if possibly Jacqueline and John may have made off with that money. I'm not sure what they did with it. But here's the bottom line. In this video, I want to keep going down our list of key points. We've been through 3 of the 7. We talked about knowing your numbers, getting the right insurance, understanding subrogation. That one's important. And now I have 2 more points. The first is know who you're dealing with. Now, before we talk about this, remember in these short videos, I can only do so much. I'm hoping I'm bringing you stuff that is really helpful and is important information you need to know to start up well. But to get a comprehensive guide to how to start up your business well, go to my website, startboldnow.com. Check out my course, Startup University. Right now I have a giveaway. I'm happy to jump on a call with you, spend a few minutes answering your most important question at no cost to you. Now, back to the story. What I want to do is I want to go here to number 4, know who you're dealing with. Here's what I mean by that. Mercury Manufacturing, LLC actually has a nice ring to it. It kind of sounds pretty official and almost trustworthy. Guess what? I'm actually glad that John and Jacqueline thought to start an LLC before they jumped into business. As you know, I teach that I don't want you starting any kind of business until you have your LLC in place and that limited liability protection in place. So good on John and Jackie for starting an LLC. The problem is, at least according to the court filings, allegedly, John and Jacqueline were defrauding Holt Cat through this LLC. So here's my point. On the one hand, I want people to start LLCs and I want you to start an LLC before you do business, partly because it does tend to add credibility in the marketplace. So if you're just doing business as yourself, John Smith, Jane Smith, I'm doing business in this way in the marketplace, that has a little different feel to it than a company name like Mercury Manufacturing, LLC. Actually sounds a little bit more reputable. And that's a good thing, but here's the thing. While you're out doing business, I want you to know who's behind these companies. So if you are actually the owner of Holt Cat, or let's say John Gross's boss at Holt Cat, I would want you to know, hey, John, who's this new company, Mercury Manufacturing? Who's actually behind that? And if you found out that Jacqueline Gross, John's wife, was behind that company, you might have a little pause. You might say, hey, John, what's going on here? What exactly is Mercury Manufacturing doing? And what exactly are you providing to Holt Cat? And so you need to know who's behind the companies that, in fact, you might be doing business with. Just because someone has an LLC doesn't mean they're a reputable business partner. And in fact, in this case, you can see that was definitely the case here, that it turns out allegedly Jacqueline Gross, John Gross, whoever was in charge of Mercury Manufacturing, was not a good business partner for Holt Cat. Okay, that's point number 4. Know who you're dealing with behind some of these entities before you strike into contracts and deals and do business out in the world. Number 5, piercing the corporate veil. This is a biggie because here's what's happening. Mercury Manufacturing is an LLC. And if you watched any of my videos on LLC, you know that one of the big benefits of an LLC is that it comes with liability protection. Well, that means that the owner of Mercury Manufacturing LLC, best as I can tell with the court filings, the owner of that appears to be Jacqueline Gross. So the concept of limited liability protection should mean that Jacqueline Gross is protected from a claim against Mercury Manufacturing. Well, that's not what's happening. Here's what's actually happening. As you know, if you watched my prior video, Berkeley Insurance Company was the insurance company for Holt Cat. They had to pay $2.6 million to Holt Cat to make them whole for the money they lost through this whole mess. Now, Berkeley Insurance Company is suing John Gross, is suing Jacqueline Gross, is suing Mercury Manufacturing. Well, how can they sue Jackie Gross when it was Mercury Manufacturing, not Jacqueline Gross personally, that was doing business with Holt Cat? The reason they can do that is because they're going to be able to pierce this corporate veil and reach Jacqueline Gross personally because of the fraudulent activity that's going on through this company. Well, that's an obvious one. You know, fraudulent activity with your LLC is definitely a way that the owner, in this case Jacqueline Gross, could open up the ability for a claimant, in this case Berkeley Insurance Company, to sue them personally rather than being limited to the assets of the LLC. Well, that's pretty clear, but I want you to know there are other things that could happen that you could do that would pierce the corporate veil and that you could lose your protection that you thought you have in place through that LLC. The biggest one, I have a video on this, is commingling personal and business assets. Just don't do it. You pay your business bills with business funds. You pay your personal bills with personal money. Keep that separate. Don't commingle it. The second thing is make sure you represent yourself as an LLC when you do business. When you sign contracts, in your business card, in your letterhead, in your lettering on if you have company vehicles, make sure you're making it clear that you're doing business as your LLC, not just you personally. The third thing is don't use company assets for personal stuff and don't use personal assets for company stuff. You know, hey, if you borrow a ladder from your company to do some work around your house now and again, that's not the end of the world. But what I'm saying is, hey, if you have a personal vehicle and you're using it for, you know, your construction company, you probably shouldn't do that. You should put that into the ownership of the LLC. Make sure you're using personal assets for personal stuff, business assets for other stuff. We have a comprehensive guide on this at Startup University that outlines all the different things you need to be wary of and you need to be doing to maintain your limited liability protection. Because there are things that you can do or fail to do that would actually invalidate that protection that I really want you to have. And when a claimant is able to sue you personally, instead of being confined to suing your LLC, that's called breaking or piercing the corporate veil. So I want you to start up a business and to do it right and to maintain it well so that you have that protection for your personal assets. Maybe Jacqueline and this situation isn't the best best example, because I'm not trying to put you in the same light as what was going on here, but it certainly highlights the concept of piercing the corporate veil, which is a real thing, and I want you to protect yourself from that. Hey, I hope this is helpful. We're through, what are we through? 5 of the 7 different things that I'm pulling out of this crazy court case down in Texas, this Holt Cat case that's ongoing now. I'm hoping to bring you updates along the way as things unfold. Are you liking what you're hearing? Is this helpful? And if it is, I'd love for you to go check out my website, startboldnow.com. And that's where you find more information on my comprehensive course called Startup University. And it's designed for new business owners or people who are considering starting a business. It will take you from timidity and uncertainty to confident, bold action. That course is going to clear the brush for all the legal and the tax and the insurance, all those issues that you're not quite sure about. when you go through this course, you're going to become sure about them. It's going to clear the way for you to focus on that thing that you're doing through your business that's making this world a better place. Remember this, there is life-changing power in a good business. You've got this. I'm right here with you. Let's go.